Today we're going to be working on this LG dryer. The model number it's on the display. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings. During this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safely. The problem with this dryer is that it's coming on but it's not heating. So we're going to go ahead and find out what is going on with this dryer. First of all, the first thing you got to do is disconnect it or turn it off at the breaker to avoid electric shock. In this case, I'll go ahead and turn it off at the breaker because in the back it's too tight to get it to get to the plug. We're going to remove the 3 screws that holds the top panel, and this is the last screw on the middle. Sorry, some parts didn't get it really good in the camera, but you need to understand that sometimes it's kind of difficult to record the video due to the fact that it's a small space in the back. Now we're going to go ahead and put the top panel to the side, and now we're going to go ahead and start taking the dryer apart. Now this drawer is for the steam, and it has like a little bucket there, and it has like a little tap on the bottom. That tap has like a hook, and that's prevented it from coming out. Once you release that, the whole drawer will come right out. Trying to get this on camera, just push it from the bottom or to the inside and it will come right out. Next, we're gonna go ahead and remove the 3 screws that holds this metal bracket and the top touch panel. Remove the 2 screws right by the steamer drawer. And at this point, this front panel should come right out. Sometimes you just have to pull it out, but it has some taps. Sometimes it comes off really easy and quick, but in this case I'm gonna have to help removing it with a screwdriver. Just look for a flathead screwdriver because sometimes those tops will not give up just by doing it by hand. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm talking about in a minute. Once you reach on the top, you will be able to see where the tops are and how they are securing this top panel. Just do it gentle because you don't want to break anything until it releases from the metal. Once you got it loose, you're gonna go ahead and disconnect all the wiring like so. These are harnesses. They are just pushed in, and some of them you have to press and release, like this one. You have to press it and release it. Sometimes if you can help yourself, try to push those little tabs, it will come right out as you see right there. Just press it with a screwdriver because it's hard to do it just with your hands sometimes. This is the tabs that I was telling you about. This is how it secures on the top of the panel, as you see right there. Now we're going to go ahead and set this to the side. And over here we have the harness for the door switch. Remember, when you get this front panel loose, that you have to be careful with the harness once the whole front panel is loose. Then you're just gonna go ahead and disconnect the harness for the door switch. You have to make sure you hold that piece that I pointed with a red arrow there, because otherwise if you force it, it will break, and now you have to replace this switch. So make sure you hold it with one hand and wiggle the harness out very carefully. Then we're gonna go ahead and disconnect this connection that goes to this humidity sensor. Then we're gonna go ahead and remove the screws that holds this front panel ring, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove this top metal panel. This repair is a little bit complicated if we are taking everything apart. The screws are pretty much standard. The only two screws that are different are the one that holds the front panel right by the door. Be careful with sharp edges. Sometimes this metal can easily cut your hands, so try to wear gloves to avoid cutting yourself. And remember this, you have to lift it a little bit up and then it will come right out. Go ahead and set it to the side. And now we're gonna go ahead and detach with a needle nose plier these clamps. Just press it and it will release from the hole. Now we're gonna disconnect the cable for the light, and we're gonna go ahead and try to put these cables over here to moving out of the way. Just try to, adjust them however you can. If you gotta use like a zip tie to hold them on top, that'll be okay too. And now we're gonna release this ring that holds the drum in the front. All right, just go ahead and set the panel to the side. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna remove this drum. I'm gonna go ahead and set my camera inside. That way you guys can see how I remove the bell to be able to remove the drum. That's where the bell and the pulley is. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my camera inside. That way you guys know exactly what is going on inside. Let me put my light and my camera, and this is how you release the belt. This is a closer look. Once you release the belt, the same way you're gonna put it back on where you start putting everything back together. Go ahead and set the drum to the side, and now we have access to this thermostats. I already have checked the thermostats, and this two thermostat needs to be replaced. I checked it for continuity, so in this footage you're not gonna see me testing it again, but again, I already have diagnostic, and these two thermostats are not working correctly. However, I'm gonna go ahead and show you later on in this video how to test them while I install the new switches, the new thermostats I meant. Here we have the new thermostats. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the installation of the new thermostats, and then I'm gonna show you how to test them for continuity and how they should be tested. If they are okay, if they are fine, they should give you continuity. Now, if to be able to do this repair, you have to have a multimeter reader and go ahead and check for continuity or check for ohms, whichever one you have. However, once you start looking for these parts when it's not heating, it's going to be either these two thermostats or the heat element. Most of the time they sell the parts by ourselves, and they also sell the whole housing with the heater and the thermostats included, but that part is more expensive. So if you have a multimeter and you can determine if the thermostats are bad, it would be a whole a lot cheaper to replace only the thermostat or replace only the heater in case if in case it was the heater. Now if in your case is the heater, just go ahead and go to my channel and you will see another videos in how to replace the heat element and another drives, but pretty much all of them are the same. Just look for a video. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link on the description of the video in how to replace the heating element in a dryer, same or similar to this one that I have done in the past in another repair. In this case, I'm doing these two thermostats, and sometimes those terminals open up when you remove the old thermostat. So go ahead and pinch them, squeeze the terminals with a needle nose plier or any plier that you have around. That way it grabs really good on the new thermostats. Now here I have my multimeter and I'm testing for continuity, but I have the wires on. I'm checking for ground. If you put one terminal on the metal and the other one's on the terminals, that's you checking for ground. See, I have continuity in all of them because they are brand new. That's the way you're supposed to check them. But if you want to have 100% better reading, go ahead and do it the way that I'm going to do it right now, which is disconnecting one terminal, one side, one terminal in each side of the heating. As you see, the middle one is the main line, the other one is part of one heater, and the other one is part of the other heater. Disconnect one side of the thermostat and plug it back in after you have your reading. This is the best way to check it 100%. I got continuity because they are brand new. So that's the way to check the heat element in the thermostats if you want to have 100% reading and make sure there are the thermostats or the heat element. Now we're going to go ahead and put the drum back in there, and we're going to do the same procedures to install the bell the same way as we remove. Same thing. Now we're going to go ahead and install this ring. Go ahead and try to clean it up much as you can. And remember, there is two wheels that this drum have to be sitting on. Make sure you set the drum in those two wheels right there. If you have to put the video in slow motion, that way you guys see better, go ahead and do that. I tried to make this video kind of short, and it turned out be a little longer than what I expected, but I tried to leave most of the details in case you ran in any complication. This video will help you do this repair yourself. Just taking all the precautions. Go ahead and install this harness for the humidity sensor, and then go ahead and grab the screws and start assemble everything back in. Again, all the screws are very similar, so you don't have to worry about too much putting the wrong screw because they're all pretty much similar or the same. Yep, once you install the screws for this ring, now we're gonna go ahead and assemble the metal bracket that goes on top. Remember, this has a male to female hook right there where it has to go in and then down to secure it in place, and then you put the screws that goes on this bracket. Remember, they're all Phillips screws. There you go. Once you got it in place, we're gonna go ahead and start installing our Phillips screws where they need to be. There you go. This is another one, the screw that goes on this plastic, it is a little different. So if you want to put that one separate, that will help you, try not to have any complications when you start assemble everything back. The two screws that goes right by the drawer, obviously they are longer, so you will know that those belongs there too. We're gonna go ahead and install our front panel. It's two male to female connections on the bottom, so you have to put them in those hooks. And now we're gonna go ahead and start bringing this harness in place. As you see, before I put this metal, I was supposed to adjust the harness before I put the metal bracket, but then I didn't. And now I have to make sure I put these cables where they need to go after the metal bracket is done. So if you want to avoid doing it that way, just go ahead and set the harness. As you see, now I'm connecting the harness for the door switch, and the cable is in the wrong spot, and you will see that I have to disconnect again and put it underneath to the metal bracket. And I realized that after I install the screws in the front panel. So see, this is the wire that is in the wrong spot, but I just leave that part of the video. That way, if you run into the same situation, you already know what to do, or avoid doing it this way, because now I either have to remove all the screws from the front panel, or I have to go ahead and detach this when there's a risk to break that door switch and throw the cable underneath. As you see, this is the way I end up doing it, and everything went well. So again, I leave this part of the video in case you run into the same situation. You got two choices: remove the whole front panel, or try to work your way in and put the cable where it goes. Now we're gonna go ahead and set this top panel and go ahead and start attaching all the cables, all the harnesses, and all the terminals where they go. Remember to take pictures every time you remove wires or start disassemble everything, to remember exactly where everything goes and avoid having a problem after you go ahead and assemble everything back. You want to make sure all the harnesses are pushed in. Some of them, they will click when you pull them in. Some of them, they just, are pushed in terminals. Yeah, make sure they are secure and they are in place. We're gonna keep installing all the screws that holds this top panel. I'm sorry, but my camera was tilted up, and some of this I didn't get it really good in the camera frame, but you get the idea. You have to remember where you remove the screws from, and just try to do the best you can. Remember, these two long screws are the one that goes by the drawer. And at this point, we're pretty much done. We're just securing this metal bracket and assemble everything back. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the two long screws right by the drawer. Just like so. And now we're gonna go ahead and put our top panel. Remember, when you sit it, you have to push it to the front to secure it in place, and install the 3 screws on the back. This secures the top panel. At this point, we're pretty much done. Go ahead and push the dryer back where it should be and install the drawer. You see the hook right there. Again, put the bucket inside. Go ahead and turn on the breaker. And that's it. At this point, dryer is working fine, it's heating, okay? And if you got one of these situations where the dryer is taking too long to dry, this could be one of the reasons why those thermostats went out. If your dryer vent is clogged, those thermostats can go out. Sometimes those thermostats go out just over time. Sometimes it's because this vent is clogged. And as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and do a dryer vent cleaning, because this dryer vent cleaning goes in the other side of the wall. So it's about 4 or 5 feet long, but sometimes it goes in the roof. It goes all the way to the roof. If your vent goes all the way to the roof, go ahead and go to my channel, or I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description of this video where I have another videos where I show you how to do a dryer vent cleaning when it goes all the way to the roof. And in that video you will find a link to be able to buy these tools as well. It's a dryer vent cleaning tools. At this point, I'm just putting this line and I have the dryer on, so the same dryer is blowing the lint out while I use the brush to clean the whole vent. So if you want to learn how to do a dryer vent cleaning, just look for that video on my channel or go to the link on the description of this video, and there will be a whole video show you how to do this correctly, or hire a company that does dryer vent cleanings. And that's it. If this video helped you in any way, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and I see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.